Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life YouTube channel. And this 1982 horror movie review video is part of my overall 1980s horror movies series. So the movie we're going to take a look at today is kind of an odd one. I don't have the physical media for it. And it's a movie that has about 12 titles to it. Not really that many, but quite a few. And I'm going to call it Satan's Mistress from 1982. It's also known as Fury of the Succubus, Demon Rage, Demon Seed, and Dark Eyes. So, this is a movie that's got a few titles, but we're going to go by Satan's Mistress. And this is going to be a shorter video because I really couldn't find that much on the movie, and I really don't have that much to say about it. But anyway, Satan's Mistress is a 1982 horror film produced, co-written, and directed by James Polikoff. It concerns a sexually frustrated housewife, Lisa, who having become distanced from her husband Carl, begins having nightly trysts with a tall, dark stranger who turns out to be a ghost. So it's a horror movie about a frustrated housewife who begins having nightly trysts with a tall, dark stranger who turns out to be a ghost from the other side. Thus begins her descent into dementia, as she begins distancing herself even further from her husband and kids, while painting portraits of her enigmatic new lover. So yeah, it's a woman in an unhappy marriage who finds sexual fulfillment in a relationship with a ghostly, speechless presence who obviously doesn't quite say who he is. That's the crux of the movie. As far as the cast goes, you have Britt Ekland as Anne Marie. You have Lana Wood as Lisa, or Lana Wood. Kabir Beatty, or Betty, as the spirit. Don Galloway as Carl. John Carradine as Father Stratton. And Sherry Scott as Michelle. So yeah, that's to set up the premise and the cast for the 1982 horror movie Satan's Mistress. This is basically... how would you describe it? It's kind of a supernatural, sex with the devil, living on the beach sort of horror movie. I don't really know if there's a good way to describe it, frankly, but it's a very interesting, weird, and darkly lit movie. So let's talk about it, starting with the things that I liked about the movie. And if you're somebody that likes beach houses, bosoms, ghosts, and demons, this movie has it all. With some full frontal nudity of Lana Wood, basically bears all front and back, and mostly top. A lot of topless nudity, a beach house setting that offers a unique background for this type of demonic thriller. Demonic thriller is a good description or subgenre, I would say, of this movie. But yeah, Lana Wood probably spends like a quarter to the half the movie being topless. And man, this woman has some big breasts. I mean, they're like some big, like, I don't want to say pancakes because they're not flat, but like, they're very big. I guess we'll just go with that. But, and you kind of know what you're in for when the movie starts, where she's running through she's running like on the shallow part of the water on the beach, and she's wearing a nightgown, and her bosoms are like, they're escaping the nightgown as she's running, bouncing up and down, and so you kind of know that it's good. It is kind of a sleazy movie in some ways in that regard. But I do like the beach house setting, because you have the ocean, you have the beach house, and sort of looking down when you're a character standing on the deck of the beach house looking down onto the water and the beach. I think that makes for a pretty effective setting for this kind of movie. But the nudity can't be understated in this movie. Like I said, all by Lana Wood, who's actually the sister of Natalie Wood, which I was not familiar with Lana Wood in that regard. I think the premise of using a person or character that is lonely in her marriage, where a demonic ghost from the other side preys on that in order to reach the afterlife, I think that whole thing is interesting. You could say that it's kind of silly as well, but I don't know. I found it to be kind of interesting how this ghostly presence is sort of in the they're seeking out the afterlife of either going to heaven or hell. But in order to do that, they need sort of the ticket to get there by preying on lonely women or lonely people, probably in marriages or whatever the case might be. I just thought that whole thing was kind of interesting. Um, as this ghost is sort of stuck in peril, um, after death, but before the afterlife setting kind of thing. So, yeah, very interesting in that regard. There's a little bit of gore and very weird demonic dream sequences that take place in this movie that are interesting. Uh, Now, when I say gore, don't think that this is a gory movie, because it certainly isn't. The most gory scene is one that you can't even really see that well. It takes place in a basement with a what do you call those things? Where somebody gets their head stuck in the wooden thing, and then the sharp blade comes down on it and chops their head off. The head beheads them. I forget the name for it, but that happens in the movie. But as I said, it's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on, but there is some gore. Obviously, you have a decapitation there, and there's some blood as well throughout the movie. That was interesting, but yeah, those are my pros for Satan's Mistress, i.e. Demon Rage, i.e. Demon Seed, i.e. Fury of the Succubus, i.e. Dark Eyes. As far as cons go, the movie definitely has some cheesy effects, like the red demonic eyes that a couple of characters experience throughout the movie. Also, this purple blob that enters the house early on, which represents the demonic entity before it turns into a full-blown ghost figure. It's very cheap looking. They really didn't put a lot into the effects. And again, a lot of it is just the time that the movie was made. They didn't have great effects. As I mentioned earlier with the beheading and the gore, a lot of this movie is hard to see, especially in the basement sequences, the nighttime scenes. You just can't really see what's going on, and the movie has a really bad quality to it as far as how it looks. And from what I gather, now granted, I watched it on YouTube, so but it doesn't have a Blu-ray release or anything. It does have a DVD release, but I've heard from other people that reviewed this movie that it's not really cleaned up that well. It's still hard to see those things, which is unfortunate. So yeah, those are definitely the biggest cons of the movie. But overall, guys, I mean, there's just not. It's a little bit of a forgettable movie. It's like I said, a demonic thriller with a lot of nudity and sex and beach houses. I mean, that's really what you get here, and there's just nothing really that stands out all that much other than the setting and the Lana Wood nudity. Otherwise, nothing really new here. There's nothing. They're not reinventing the wheel or anything. So overall, I'm going to give Satan's Mistress a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 for Satan's Mistress from 1982. If it were ever cleaned up to a version you could actually see what was going on, especially in the basement, I think it would I'd be a movie that I would rewatch again. But as it is, not having a cleaned up version out there, I doubt that I'll rewatch this movie or seek it out on physical media. So 4 out of 10 for Satan's Mistress from 1982, or one of the other 8 names that it goes under. Comment down below if you've seen this movie, what you think of it. It is available on YouTube if you want to check it out. It's about an hour and a half, so not a big time commitment. But comment down below if you've seen it, what your thoughts are. Please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It would really help me out for the future content on my channel going forward. With all that being said, though, thank you for watching. Hope you're doing well and your holiday season's going well. But of course, as always, stay scared. Bye.